The sea is shrouded in darkness, with occasional glimpses of twisted sea creatures lurking in the shadows. The sight slowly descends into the deep black ocean, revealing a desolate underwater kingdom where the sea is both terrifying and lifeless. Beneath the blackened waves of a cursed sea, where sunlight is a distant memory and monsters reign supreme, lived a creature known as the Little Mermaid. But this is no tale of love and longing. This is a story of obsession, curses, and a descent into madness. Trapped in a world of decay and darkness, a spectral figure with hollow eyes as she gazes upward toward the faint light breaking through the water's surface. Her underwater kingdom is a place of despair, ruled by her cruel father. The Sea King, the Little Mermaid, yearned for escape. Her heart was filled not with the simple dreams of a girl, but with the haunting vision of a world above, a world she could never reach. But when a shipwreck brought her face to face with a prince, her desire turned to something far darker. The scene shifts to the stormy ocean surface. The Little Mermaid watches as the prince's ship is torn apart by violent waves. She swims through the wreckage, finding the unconscious prince and pulling him to safety on the shore. Her eyes, however, are fixed not on his face, but on the ethereal glow of his soul. The prince was no ordinary man. He carried with him a curse, a soul bound to the sea by an ancient witch's magic. The Little Mermaid, drawn to this cursed soul, became obsessed with the idea of claiming it as her own, believing it to be her only escape from the darkness below. Desperation drove the Little Mermaid to seek out the Sea Witch. She descends into a deep trench where the Sea Witch resides. The witch is a grotesque, a malevolent being who thrived on the misery of others, an ancient creature surrounded by the souls she has trapped. The Little Mermaid approaches, her expression a mix of fear and determination. The witch offered her a choice: become human and walk among the mortals, but at a terrible cost: her voice, her beauty, and the pain of every step. And if she failed to claim the prince's soul, her fate would be sealed. Eternity as a wraith bound to the witch's dark will. Circling the mermaid, the witch asked, "Are you certain, little one, you'll give up everything, your voice, your home, your very essence, all for a fleeting chance at a cursed soul?" The Little Mermaid, clutching her chest where her heart beats rapidly, looks down at her tail, shimmering under the witch's light. She hesitates for just a moment, but then her gaze hardens. She nods resolutely. Producing a vial of dark, swirling liquid from a shelf and holding it out, the witch said, "Drink this, and the transformation will begin. But once you drink, there is no turning back. Your voice, your beautiful voice, will be mine." The witch's magic envelops the Little Mermaid. Her tail splitting into legs in a horrifying transformation, she screams in silence, her voice already stolen. The Little Mermaid, now human, struggling to walk through a shadowy forest. Her once enchanting appearance is now spectral, her skin pale and her eyes haunted. She makes her way to the prince's castle, where he is preparing for his wedding to another woman. On land, the Little Mermaid was no longer the beautiful, enchanting creature she once was. Every step was agony, her voice silenced, her beauty faded. Yet she was driven by a singular purpose: to claim the prince's cursed soul before it was lost to another. The Little Mermaid, as she watches the prince from the shadows, her gaze filled with a twisted blend of longing and malevolence. The prince, however, is drawn to another, a woman whose presence seems to echo the call of the sea. The prince, blinded by love for another, could not see the dark forces at play. As his wedding day approached, the Little Mermaid's obsession turned to madness. She realized that to claim his soul, she would have to destroy the one thing he loved, his bride. And with it, any hope of salvation, there is none. As she becomes increasingly desperate, her eyes wide with madness, the scene flashes between her haunting the prince's dreams and her attempts to lure him away from his bride. Her efforts only bring more fear and tragedy. On the wedding, the prince and his bride stand at the altar, but the sky above is dark, filled with ominous clouds. The Little Mermaid, now a twisted, monstrous version of herself, confronts them. Her voice, though stolen, reverberates through the scene as a ghostly whisper. On that night, the Little Mermaid made her final move. She offered the prince a choice: to join her in the depths of the cursed sea, or to watch his bride perish. But the prince, horrified by the creature she had become, rejected her. The prince's rejection causes a surge of dark magic. The Little Mermaid screams silently as her body begins to dissolve into sea foam, her curse fully realized. the ocean crashing violently as she disappears into the waves. The sight fades in to show the dark sea, calm now, with only the faintest trace of sea foam on the surface. The sight slowly dives into the depths, revealing the wraith-like form of the Little Mermaid wandering aimlessly, her once beautiful voice now a mournful cry that lures ships to their doom. And so, the Little Mermaid's tale ends not in love, but in eternal torment. Bound to the depths, her voice a mournful wail that echoes through the ages. She became a warning to all who sought to defy the dark forces of the sea. Subscribe to Story Retelling for more tales of darkness and horror, where classic stories are transformed into nightmares.